All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be doing a market watch. This will basically be a pre-ban market watch because on the 16th, so the weekend of me recording this video and putting it out, they're going to be doing a bans and restriction update, okay? So today's video, we're going to talk about some pre-sale prices for OP10 coming out in the West, technically next week, but the pre-releases were this weekend. So we're going to be looking at some of the pre-sale prices, and then later this weekend, probably tomorrow, I believe, at the time you're recording this, there's going to be a bans and restriction update for One Piece TCG. So we're going to be doing a pre-ban, market watch, and then we're going to be doing a post-ban market watch, so an extra market watch in this month. All right, so be looking forward to that. The only reason we wouldn't do it is if they don't do any bans and restrictions worth noting. But hey, we'll at least talk about that in a video if we don't do an extra market watch this month. Okay, guys, so with that in mind, let's go ahead and dive into today's video. I'm going to break it down for you real quick. First things first, we're going to head over, where you see in the background here, over to tcgplayer.com. We'll check out some pre-sale prices for OP10 in the West, and then we're going to look through a few of the other, a few of the usual cards we always take a peek at, see how the prices are going. And then we're going to head over, after that, we're going to head over to limitlesstcg.com, and we're going to check out how much decks are costing in their entirety. And then we'll finish off the video with we got a single game of Green Blue Zonji on the sim. We'll check that out at the very end, and we'll check out the deck list and wrap things up in that way. Okay, guys, so you know what you're getting into. I'll have everything time-stamped down in the general description, and I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and things like that in the comment section below. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, or if I missed something, don't be afraid to post that in the comment section below as well, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link is in the channel description. Now, one more thing I have to mention about that, speaking of the Discord, for those who are interested in just doing like Discord locals on the VV Theory Discord, like I said, the link's in the channel description. We have a we just have a locals on Discord every Saturday and Sunday, and it starts at 9 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so be sure to stop by if you like to do that kind of stuff. It is meant to be a webcam style tournament, but if you don't have the physical cards, that's not a problem. We always default to the sim if you don't have the physical copies of the cards. Okay? One more thing I want to stress up front is there is no prize. This is just a free Discord locals. Okay? But let me put this in perspective. Last week we had about 22 players in the locals last week, and we have them on Saturdays and Sundays. Okay? So I'm going to try to start mentioning that at the beginning of each video for those who are interested in maybe hopping on Discord and seeing how you pair up against other people around the country, or who knows, around the world. You never know where some of these people are going to be from that you're playing against. So again, that's going to be on Saturdays and Sundays, 9 p.m. Eastern to however long it ends up lasting. It really depends on how long, how many players will be in the tournament for how long it ends up lasting. Okay, so with that in mind, hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link is in the channel description. This video is sponsored by Nin Garden. Their latest spring collection just dropped with 3 new designs, and to celebrate, they are running a spring sale. Buy one, get any classic mat 40% off with the code SPRINGSALE. Plus, use NIN10 for an automatic 10% off at the checkout. You can stack this with my promo code, the VV Theory, for an additional 5% off, bringing you to a total of 15% total savings on top of the 40% off. All right, guys, let's go ahead and knock out the market watch. We're over on tcgplayer.com, and I have to say, guys, we're in the pre-sale era of OP10 over here in the West at the time you're recording this. It doesn't come out till next week at the time you're recording this video and putting it out. We're in the pre-release, pre-sale weekend of OP10 over here in the West. So I would be very careful when buying because I expect most, if not all, of these prices to drop. That's just how it is. I can't really explain it. I guess the thing about buying things like pre-sale buying things is you for sure get access to your cards as soon as you can. You get them early, or you'll get them earlier than most people who are waiting for the pre-sale prices to go down. There's probably a few things to justify buying buying cards at this kind of premium. But I personally like to get my cards for as cheap as possible, as affordable as I can. But still as soon as I can. And the way that I do that, let me explain how I do things, guys, because I've had people ask me in my stream. They've said, like, and let me plug the stream real quick. Guys, every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern to 12 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, on the VV Theory channel, we stream every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, okay? And I've had people ask me, like, hey, do you just play online, or do you play in person, or what? And the answer is I play both physically and online, right? Physically And online, yeah, however you'd say that. And I have all the cards. I have every single card. No alt arts. I don't do alt arts, guys. I only buy I call it the base rarity, like as in the cheapest, lowest cost rarity of every card. That's how I keep my collection up. I have all the cards, and I do play locally, and I play in person as well. Or excuse me, I play in person locally, and I also play online, obviously. That's where most of my content comes from. But I play in both. So in order, the way that I keep it up is like this. Instead of buying a box for $130 or $140 pre-sale price, guess what I do? I wait about 3 to 4 weeks after the set releases, and then I scoop up every single card as a 4-of copy. I buy every single card in the entire set as a 4-of, so I don't have to buy a single pack. I don't have to rely on chance or luck or anything like that. I just buy every card as a 4-of copy, and then it ends up being around $130 to $160 USD. Now, that's without alt arts. Obviously, we're not doing alt arts, like I already said. And that's also without the secrets. Secret rarities, you have to kind of gauge over time and see what they're going to do, how they're going to fluctuate in the marketplace, and then make your decision based off that. And if you do have any alt arts saved up, you can maybe trade for them. That's what I try to do. I still have a few alt arts like saved up from the past. But at the same time, I don't really care about, how do I say this? Whether I have to trade for it or buy it. I get my secret rares based on just totally different circumstances where I have to kind of pick and choose my battles wisely and see where I think it's going to go in the market, whether it's going to go up or down in price. Maybe buy one now, buy one in 2 weeks, buy one in a month, or whatever. I have to do that differently. But as far as buying the entire playset of every card goes, I buy a 4-of playset of every single card in a new set about 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks after the pre-release. And then I end up having all my cards for around $130 to $150 USD, again, excluding alt arts, obviously, and excluding the secret rares. Okay, that's the method I do it. That's what one box would cost you for, the pre-sale price. That's been my experience for the past 3 to 4 sets now, okay? I will link down in the comments section below. I have a video showing how to buy in bulk on TCG Player. I will list that down in the comments section below for those who are interested, okay? All right, now, I'm not going to mention much more on the pre-sale prices here for OP10 over here in the West. I'm just going to say that I expect all these cards to go down in price. Zonji, Tashigi, Smoker, even the Kuzan guys, that's at 15 right now. This Trafalgar Law, I also expect to go down in price. Eustace Kid might stay around the $4 mark, but I expect every single card you see on here unless it's already under $1, maybe it probably won't drop down much from there. But the cards that are over $1, I expect every one of these to go down in price, roughly, a little bit. I don't know how to say how much, but I expect every one of these cards to go down in price. We'll have to see what happens. There are 3 cards I would keep my eye on so far, guys, and it would be this Smoker, this Kuzan, and this Trafalgar Law. I did see some absurd price when I was looking through this earlier. Let me go to highest to low. There's a card. Yeah, this Luffy, I do not understand this at all. This is not an alt art, by the way. It is a secret rare, but this is not some kind of alt art. This is just 6 cost, 7K Luffy here, secret rare. There is no way in the world I would buy this card for this price. Is there a deck that's running this that I'm not aware of, guys? Someone help me out in the comment section below. I don't think there is. But there's no way in the world I think this card will stay at this price, okay? You guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. All right, so that's it for the pre-sale. I know that's not much to talk about other than, hey, guys, again, I would just hold off on that. Wait, let me get back. We're on the highest to low still. Let me go to best match. Okay, I would wait for these prices to drop down. That's how I do things personally. But, hey, it's your money. Buy at your own discretion. Now, moving forward, now we're going into the other cards. Now we're going into red, green, blue, purple, black, and yellow of cards that already exist in the game, so OP09 and before. And first up, we have Silver's Rayleigh. This card is at $25. It is starting to go down. I did predict it would go down, guys. It went all the way up to the $40 range. I was telling people not to buy when it was like $25, when it was like $20. I was like, okay, guys, I would not buy it. But, hey, it jumped all the way up to $40 because people kept buying it, right? And, hey, I get it. People need it for their decks. I understand. I do understand. But I'm just trying to say, people kept buying it, so that price went... It just went straight up, right? And it was being featured in good decks, of course, decks that were doing very well. But hear me out. It went up to $42. Now it's dipping back down to the $25 range. This is good to see. Look, some of these are going for about $20, $23 with a little bit extra shipping, though, for the $20 one. you got to pick and choose your sellers appropriately down here as well, guys, because you never know. People like to go with the ones with the star because it's like a verified store or something like that, where it's let me see if it says it, gold star seller, so it's like a more dependable offer. But hey, these guys had to start with 0 sales at some point too, right? So it is. I think it's a smart idea to buy from these cheaper ones down here, because look, this guy's had 100% ratings at 84 sales, and I don't know who this person is. I'm not trying to promote them. I'm just trying to say, like, hey, clearly they're doing something right. If 84 sales 100%, and if theirs is the cheapest, why wouldn't you snag it? But that's something you have to pick and choose. Some people will only buy from the gold star sellers or the certified hobby shops, and I understand that decision, and I respect it as well. But again, you have to pick and choose your battles there. But this card down, excuse me, down to the $25 range, I don't think this is too bad for Rayleigh. I have to say something real quick. Let me get this out of the way early. I always mention this in every video. Secret rares that cost 10, so secret being the gold border cards are secret rares, and the silver borders like this, these are SRs, and then everything else is just, common, uncommon, or rare. But the gold borders, secret rares, SEC is the little rarity at the bottom here. You can even see it right here for the rarity. If these cards are under $10, I would buy them so fast it would make your head spin for the full play set that I need. I tried to get people to do that for Zonji. Where's Zonji at? I tried to get people to do this for Zonji when this card was well under $25. Look at this. This card was $8.50. I bought this card when it was around $8 to $9 a card, so I got my entire play set for like $36. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that to just kind of stress to everyone, secret rarity cards, they are the most rare cards other than when you get into the alt art stuff, right? They are the most rare cards that come in a deck, or excuse me, in a set. So here's the thing. If you can get them for under $10, it is probably a good idea to do that, because you never know when a card might become the best card in a deck. Like what we're seeing with Blue Purple Luffy in the East right now in OP11, this card ends up picking up a lot of steam because of how that leader works. It becomes very powerful. Well, guys, if you just, for the people who are serious about this game, for the collectors in this game who are trying to like really, or not even just collectors, the players or collectors, and you're trying to really get all your play sets for what you need for every card in the game, here's my rule on that. Secret rarity cards, gold border cards, those are going to be $10 and under. You get your playset without hesitation. You don't even have to ask yourself a question, okay? For the silver border cards, these are SRs. It's kind of tricky, right? Because this is super rare and the other was secret rare. They're both SR, but the secret rares have SEC for the rarity, and then they have the gold border. The SRs, the super rares, have the silver border, okay? These SRs, if they're $5 and under, you don't ask any question. You just immediately buy it. This mainly applies to the U.S., with TCGplayer.com, so I do apologize to people who have different markets. But you buy it up immediately. You don't even ask questions. But I will say this. That doesn't mean if it's above that, you don't buy it at all. It doesn't mean that. Like, for example, I think when it comes to secret rares, if they're from the $10 to $25 price point and it's in a main color that you follow, you might want to snatch it up as soon as possible, because we've seen what these cards have done. We saw what happened with Katakuri. We're not over there yet, but we've seen Katakuri in the past, right? This used to be an $85 card, guys. 85 USD. Insanity prices, okay? So please keep an eye out on that. So if there's a secret rare that is in your main color pool, I would get it if it's up to $25. Getting to the $30 range is becoming like, okay, it's getting a little expensive, guys. Should we even buy at that price to keep it going up and up and up? But it all depends. But hear me out. This card right here at $25, I will say Rayleigh is worth it. Okay, I want this card to keep going down in price, and who knows what happens. In the future, this card might get reprinted, and then it's going to drop way down in price, right? It will tank in price, which I do want to happen. I'm not going to lie. But, hey, that's coming from me. I'm not a collector. I'm not a market or anything like that. I'm a player, okay? I'm a player first. Collecting and investment stuff, that comes second. That's not even secondary for me. That's like tertiary for me. Like that's way beyond that, right? Okay, so good stuff. Whoops, I did not mean to click that. Let me go back. So we got Silver's Rayleigh here at $25. This might be the time to buy, guys, until we can get a confirmation on whether or not there's going to be any reprints. But if red is not a color you're trying to play and you're just trying to collect all the cards over time, I think you can wait on this card. Okay, don't worry. I won't take that long on all the cards, guys. I had to really explain the difference between the secret rares and the SRs. Hopefully that helped. Just to summarize one more time, secret rares that are $10 and under, snap decision, buy it. But a secret rare up to $25 and you need it, I'd probably get it. Otherwise, you can wait. Same thing for SRs. Let me go over to Dragon. $5 and under, snap decision, buy SRs. But if it goes up to $10, $15 and you need it for your deck, you might just have to pull the trigger on it and get it. Otherwise, you can probably wait for it to go down in price, hopefully over time. Okay, now that that's out of the way, Next up, we got Goldie Roger. Guess what? Remember the rule I just said? Oh, it's a secret rare under $10? Yep, I have my full playset, guys. I have all 4 of mine. Here's the thing about that. Say you don't really care about collecting and you don't play red. Okay, number one, you never know if you might switch your mind and play something that's like red plus another color. But the other thing is this. Imagine this card goes up in price. Imagine a new set comes out and it's all Roger Pirates. And all of a sudden this card becomes a 3 or a 4 of in the decks that run it. What if it's like a red-purple ramp deck that's Roger Pirates? You never know what might happen in the future. And say this card goes up to $30, $40. Well, now, if you bought them all for $6, you can just sell them all back for $30, $40. Do you see what's going on? And like we were just saying, you don't even care about the card anyway in that situation. But if you did need the card, well, now you have your card, right? So just keep that in mind, guys. Well, I'm just trying to help. Just trying to help out, guys. Next up is Monkey D. Dragon here. This is an 8-cost, 9,000 power SR, and this is a very, very strong card within red. It peaked up to $11, $12 for a while there. I don't foresee this card going much lower in the near future, so getting this card under $10, I think you're going to be safe doing that. Okay, let's pick up the pace a little bit. Next up, we got Edward Newgate here. This is from Starter Deck 15. Please buy this card as soon as possible, guys. It is under $5 for an SR, and this is from a dreaded starter deck, okay? The starter deck cards and the EB01 cards, they are a menace on the wallet. They are terrifying to deal with, okay? I would snatch this card up as soon as you possibly can because these starter deck cards do tend to go up in price. We'll see what happens, but I wouldn't take my chances while it's under $5 a copy. Okay, guys, I would definitely snatch these up. Now, there is one or two. Let's look at a few of these cards at the bottom here. I would get all these. They're all SRs under $5. Bad Manners Kit Course is up in the $2 range. You might want to get those if you don't already have them. And then I don't see... Let me go back to Silver's Rayleigh real quick. I think they had... yeah, no, they didn't. Hang on. I was going to say they had this event in here. Yeah, here it is. Gum Gum Fire Fist Red Hawk, or Gum Gum Fire Fist Pistol Red Hawk. I would snatch this card up as soon as you can as well, because I don't know if this is going to be reprinted. I wouldn't take my chances. Events are a little bit wonky, guys, especially rare events. I would snatch these up while they're under $5 as well, the rare ones. I'd get them as soon as possible. Okay, there's one more that I did want to look at. I forgot to look up, and that would be Chopper for red. Hopefully I can find it real quickly. Here it is. It's an EB01 card. This is the EB01 stuff. This right here, whenever you see that, it is just a total nightmare. I can't really explain it. Keep your eye on these cards, though. Hopefully they get reprinted in the PRB02 set coming out in about 6 months. Okay, so there's Roger there. We already went over the red cards, and now going over into green. We got Zorro here. This is a secret rare that's going for around... It's been going for $20 to $30 for the past forever. It's just been sitting there, guys. It did drop as low as $14 to $15. That's when I was able to snatch mine up. And then they jumped up to $30. And they've been sitting in the $20 to $30 range now for so long. Buy at your own discretion. I'm not going to say anything. I always end up frustrating people on my comments on this card right here. I know it's a good card. It's really good into like 2 or 3, maybe even 4 or 5 matchups. It's very solid. But I just don't see... It's hard for me to justify this card costing the $23. It must be because of the rarity of the card. Because even when we look at the card, I mean, there are quite a few selling at a time. Every 3, I have it on like the 6 month. Let me go on 3 month is what we normally look at, I think. Actually, yeah, I mean, it is selling at about 59 copies, 59 items sold every 3-day period. So 13th, 14th, 15th. They do it every 3-day period like this. And about 50 are selling every 3 days, okay? Anywhere from 40 to 60, actually, are selling every 3 days. So not too bad. The card is still selling like crazy. Hey, if you want to get this card, I don't foresee it dropping much lower than this, so it might be the time to buy. Unfortunately, I'm not saying the card should cost this much. I'm just saying, guys, I don't see it dropping anytime soon. Eustace Kid, under $5 for an incredible SR that's going to see a lot of play in the future, unless something happens with bans and restrictions. I know some people are saying, like, hey, what if this card gets banned? I don't foresee this card getting banned. I don't think it should be banned, but I'll say this. If it does not get banned, okay, which I don't think it will, this card should be pretty good at the $5 range. We'll take this every single time. Pick these up as soon as possible. Next up is Hody Jones. This is a staple now. Guys, hear me out, okay? Hear me out. Going into OP11, I mean, it's already good going into OP10 for us in the West, where we're about to be into now. But going into OP11, this card needs to be a staple in probably almost every single green card. In almost every single green deck. Like, sure, green-purple Limb's not going to run something like this because it just taps down the character on play. But that's not the point. The point is this card is extremely good, especially if you plan on playing Fishman Pirates in the future, the new Fishman Pirates or Fishman leaders in the future, make sure you have your 4 copies of this as soon as possible. It kind of spiked up to $350. It used to be going for more than that. Back before the reprints, this card was as expensive as $10 and stuff like that. Like $5 to $10. But getting it at $3, I don't think it's going to hurt you. I would snatch this up as soon as possible. Cavendish, this is another dreaded EV01 card. Hopefully this gets reprinted as soon as possible so more players can play all the cool new, green Supernova leaders moving forward. Because a lot of people, guys, I get comments all the time, people saying, well, I'm not paying for that card. I'm going to have to wait for it to go down in price before I can try out the green Supernova stuff or the green yellow Supernova or whatever it might be. And that's another reason why, by the way, I have to mention this, guys. Like, going back just for a second to this price right here for Trafalgar Law, the only deck that I think really runs this card is the 5-cost yellow Eustace Kid and the 5-life yellow Eustace Kid coming out in OP10 and the green yellow Law coming out, of course, in OP10 as well. And they're the only decks that I think run this card. And I don't think they're going to be super popular over here in the West, or maybe they will be. Maybe they'll be more popular over here than in the East. But whatever the case is, let me just say this: I expect this price to go down. And with Cavendish, and Cavendish is one of the reasons I think that, because a lot of people are not even playing green Supernova anything because of this card. And in the green yellow Law deck, which I think is going to run the 7-cost 9K Law that we were just looking at more than any other deck, because I don't even think Eustace Kid will necessarily run this card. I mean, maybe it will, maybe it won't. We don't know the finalized list yet. It probably will, to be honest, because it does gain life. It's face down, so you can use your leader effect and everything with it. But hear me out. A lot of players that were wanting to play something like green yellow Law, they're not going to be able to play it because the card being this expensive. They're going to wait on it. So I'm hoping that, in a way, I'm kind of hoping that this card will drive the price down of this card because of not as many people wanting to purchase the card. And then as a result, it ends up dropping the price of this if we get a PRB 02 with this card in it. Like maybe this will be in PRB 02 and that'll drop the price down of this as well in the process. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. I'm all over the place right there with that idea. I'm just upset this card costs as much as it does as an SR, but that's not really the card's fault. It's this right here. It's not so much that this card is so powerful, which it is super powerful, and it's not even that this card is being overrepresented in the meta currently. It's just a matter of it being an EV01 card that's SR rarity that is just extremely useful. Okay, next up we're going into the blue cards. We only got 1 card to go over in blue right now. Actually, let me before we go into blue, let me see if we have to wrap anything up down here in green. Yeah, all these cards down here, guys, if you don't already have them, I'd snatch them up. Nothing too crazy to talk about. These are all SRs and stuff under the $5 range. This Shanks is a starter deck SR right at the $5 range. Pick these up if you don't already have them. And then what else? Hody Jones. Yeah, these Bonnies. Looks like these are starting to go up in price. I would not take my chances with Jordy Bonnie, guys. I'd get those as well if you don't already have them and you're playing green Supernovas. Okay, now going into blue. Excuse me, we got Zonji here. I've already kind of talked about this. We're not going to spend much time on this. This is just one of those cards that is going to see a lot of play going into OP11 for sure. It might see some play in OP10, but OP11 is where it's going to get blue-purple Luffy, and I think this card is going to be incredible in there. And yeah, get it if you can, right? Get it if you can. I don't foresee it going down in price unless there's some type of reprints. Now, these cards down here we're going to go over in a minute. I just want to go over the blue cards. Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, pick these up if you don't already have your playset of these and you need them. Charlotte Pudding, super low right now. Nojiko, I would probably snag these up as soon as possible as well if you don't already have these, because these are going to be used in OP11 with blue, yellow, Nami. Okay? Good stuff there. All right, that's it for blue, guys. Like I said, not a whole lot to talk about for blue right now. Next up is Mr. 2, Bon Carré, Bentham. This is the EV01 Secret Rare, so of course this one is double the price of any of the SRs pretty much. And this is one that I think a lot of people are speculating that this card will be reprinted in PRB02. That's the hope at least, but that's 6 months, like what, 5 to 6 months away or something like that. Who knows when that's coming out? We got to be careful. But let me just say this card is extremely expensive. This is the most expensive card in the game at its lowest rarity. Okay, so keep your eye on this. I wouldn't necessarily buy this anytime soon. Next up is Luffy. It's time to snag this card, guys. If you do not have your 10-cost Luffys, the 10K Luffy, excuse me. If you do not have your 9-cost 10,000 power rush Luffys that draw a card on play, you need to go ahead and snag this immediately because it's right at that $10 range. Okay, remember what I was saying about, the secret rares in the $10 range? I would not take my chance on this card, guys. I mean, I would... Secret rares at $10. It might go down even lower. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. But $10 for this card, and look, it is just dropping, so maybe wait a week or two to see if it's going to continue down at this rate. But again, I personally wouldn't take my chances. I actually got this card when it was around the $12 to $13 range because I did not think it was going to go down any lower. But hey, here we are. It's down the $10 range. Maybe see how low it'll go. But again, $10 for a secret rare. I'm not waiting on that to go any lower. I'm gonna snag it right at that price, which I think is justifiable for its rarity. And this card might actually be decent as well in the new blue purple Luffy coming out OP11. Okay, next up is Zonji. This is a 2K counter. This is a card that's gone down in price. Look, this scooped or jumped. It shot all the way up to $11, $10, $11, and now it's going down from there. It's in the $6 range now. Yep, if you don't have your play set of these, I'd probably snag these as soon as possible as well. Okay, next up we got Charlotte Lin. Another incredible 9-cost card here, an SR for purple. This is a great deal at under $5. Full send, guys. Full send. Get these as soon as you can. $5. Easy peasy. Full play set. Be done with it. It's worth it. It's worth every penny if you're going to be playing purple. Okay, next up is Sabo. Okay, now moving over to the black cards. We got Sabo here. This card, I believe, has been a confirmed reprint for PRB02. So this card is starting to see a dip in price, and that's a good thing. That's what we love to see. This card was around $25 to $30 for quite some time. Very happy to see this card go down in price. It's down to $15. I would see how far it will go down, though, guys. I would not buy just yet. I would see how far this card is going to go down in price because the reprints should put it down to the under $10 range. So it's up to you, but that's my advice there. Okay, next up, we didn't really wrap up purple, did we? Oh gosh, we're gonna look at it real quick, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, we do have the Rush Luffy, the Gum Gum Giants. I'd snag those, even whether they get banned or not. I'd still grab the Gum Gum Giants. A lot of people think it's gonna get banned. Luffy Taro under $5. Eustace Kids, yeah, get all these cards right here, guys. Oh, the Uso Hachi. I'm so glad we're going back to this, guys. We had to get back to this real quick. I know we're supposed to be in the black cards now, but hear me out. This card is at under $10 for a starter deck card. Okay. The starter deck 18 here is the card, excuse me, we're looking at a card from starter deck 18. I would buy under $10 for one of these cards that's jumping up in price. I would get it right now. There's no way I'd be waiting on this card because you never know when they're going to reprint this in the future or whether they are or not. I would snag this immediately. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. We did have to go over that real quick. Okay, back to where we were with the black cards. So we looked at Sabo. Let me go down here. Okay, yeah, let me go through this one. So Sabo we already went over. Let's go ahead and head over to Rebecca. Rebecca is it's at the $5 range. Yep, we snagged these immediately. Look at this. It's actually going up to the $6 and $7 range. I've been telling people to buy this for a long time now, guys. When this card was like under, let me see something. Yeah, it was under $5. It was well under $5 for the longest time. And I was telling people like, hey, go ahead and snag the card. If you're trying to get your play sets or if you're trying to play black in the future, why would you not just get this card? Now, and who knows? Now, I might even wait. I don't know if I'd snag this card right now the more I think about it because we don't know what's going to be banned yet. We have to see what's going to happen. So, who knows? Some people think that Rebecca might get banned. I don't know if it will or not. I'm not suggesting it should or shouldn't. I'm just saying that, you might want to wait for the ban and restriction list coming out this weekend on whether or not you want to grab this card now. Okay, next up is Brooke. This is this card's an EB01 disaster as well, and it's in the $24 to $25 range. I'm glad I got my stuff when I did for this card. In fact, I think this is one of the few cards I still need one more of, and I'm just holding out hope that it's going to go down in price because I'm not going to buy it at the $23, $24 range. Even if I was playing a deck that was running 4 of this card, I'd probably just make do with an extra Kobe or something like that. But that's just me. But it's a little too expensive in my opinion. Guys, I'm really hoping this card gets reprinted soon in PRB02, but we don't know if it will or if it won't. And I'll tell you right now, $25 for an SR, buy at your own discretion. That's a scary, scary number for an SR to reach. Okay, now let me go and wrap up the black cards here. Jack, auto buy. Gecko Moria, auto buy. These are so cheap. Just get those immediately. Who cares if they get banned or not? They're so cheap, it's worth having. Rob Lucci, T-Bone, Spandine. Yep, these are all auto buys here. Kaido at under $1. I would buy these Kaidos up at 4 play sets if you don't have your play set yet. Make sure you have all of these because who knows what's going to happen going into OP11. If we'll see how strong Blackbeard's going to be, and if Blackbeard's really strong, Kaido gets even stronger, right? Because he's one of the few answers that we have against Blackbeard as decks that are running black. Now let me look at Shigan Finger Pistol real quick as well. Okay, Stussy's another. This is another great card to pick up real quick, guys. I'm not going to lie. I would just snatch this card up as soon as possible because it is a very strong card into pretty much anything except Blackbeard. Okay, make sure to get your Stussy's if you don't already have these and you plan on playing black in the future. All right, let me get back to where we were with Kaido because I had Blackbeard over here. Yeah, Blackbeard under $2 or Marshall D Teach the SR. Make sure to snag this. Let me click on Marshall D Teach because this should take us to Shigan Finger Pistol. Okay, or I'm just crazy. No, here, finally, because when at the bottom here, whenever you're looking at a card, so we're looking at Marshall D Teach, right? So it will show at the bottom here, customers also purchased this when getting this deck. These Finger Pistols, EB01 events, I would grab these as soon as possible. There's no way I'd take a chance with this card. I know it's expensive, but I'm just saying, guys, I would get your playsets if you need them, because I don't see it going under $10. Or I don't see it going much lower than it is right now. I can see it actually going up to like $10. I can actually see that happening. We'll have to see what happens, though. Okay, now going into the yellow cards, Portgosti Ace. This one's at $25 for a secret. That's kind of just where some of the best secrets are sitting at, guys. We already looked at, let me go back to Tony Chopper here, back to Rayleigh. Let me see. Will it let me go all the way back to it? Here it is. Nice. Rayleigh, $25. Zoro, $25. Where is... Oh, gosh. It looks like we missed out on the... here it is. Zonji, $25. You guys see the theme here, right? Mr. 2, $40. He breaks it, of course. He breaks our little pattern, but whatever. Now, into the black cards, there's not really a really strong black secret rare out right now, so we just have the Sabo and the Brook that are super expensive. But going over into yellow... Ace, $25. I'm really hoping these are the cards that get reprinted in the PRB02 reprints. Because hear me out real quick, guys. If you go back and look at PRB01 and see the cards that were in there, there were 6 secret rares printed, 1 for each color. I'm really hoping they do the same thing for PRB02. And guess which cards I hope they reprint? That's right, Silver's Rayleigh, the oh gosh, now I can't find it. It's gone. Oh, here it is. Zoro. So it would be Silver's Rayleigh for red, Zoro for green, Zonji for blue, Mr. 2 for purple. For black, there's not, pick whichever one you want to. Maybe the 8-cost Sabo. There's an 8-cost secret rare Sabo or something like that. That's fine. And then for yellow, hopefully they would do something like Portgosti Ace. And then this game's prices would drop down so much, it'd be so nice. Now, I know the collectors might be, cringing at that idea. I understand it'd be very hard to deal with. But hear me out, man. Guys, I'm a player first. I'm a collector or investor second, third, fourth, fifth down the line. And it's almost irrelevant to me, the cost of my collection, because I don't plan on leaving this game. The game is too good. I'm not trying to leave the game. Hey, if the cards retain value over time, great, seems good, but that's not what I'm trying to do. Okay, now, here we go. So this is Ace here is at $25. I'm hoping this goes down. It has been dropping. It was up to $35 for a while there, and now it's dropping all the way down to the $23 range. We'll have to see what happens going forward. I think all the hype around yellow has died off going into OP11, even OP10, to be honest. But OP10, OP11, I don't really see this card really picking up much steam. Maybe Eustace Kid will run it. I don't foresee yellow Katakuri running it. I don't see Calgara running it. Enel will run it if Enel is a thing, but I don't know, guys. I think Blackbeard is about to be a force in the meta. We'll have to see what happens. Okay, next up is Charlotte Katakuri. This secret rare under $10, incredibly useful, like high utility, yellow secret rare at the 8-cost spot. Immediate snap decision. I'd get all 4 of these if you don't already have them. Next up is Shirahoshi, EB01. There's an EB01 card from every single color that's just outrageous, guys. It's fine. It was a good set as far as that goes. Had some pretty powerful cards in it, but I wish these prices would go down. Buy at your own discretion, but this card has been sitting at this price for quite some time. Okay, then last but not least, we're going to go over Nami, and we'll check a few cards down at the bottom. But Nami, $6. I would definitely buy this card as soon as you can as well if you plan on buying, or if you plan on playing yellow in the future. It was up to $8. It has dipped down to $6. Maybe wait a little bit longer, see if it'll drop down anymore. That's up to you. Okay, some other cards just to consider while we're in the yellow card pool here. You're the one who should disappear. I would snatch these up as soon as possible if you don't have your playset. Rocket Boots Luffy as well, just a great card. It's an activate main too, so if Blackbeard does take over the meta, Monkey D. Luffy's going to be fine with that. All of these cards now $3. This Kingdom Come is kind of like the yellow version of Finger Pistol from EB01 for yellow though. Like black had Finger Pistol, yellow has Kingdom Come. I would snatch these up for under $4 if you can. Seems good. And yeah, that's about it. All right, guys, that's it for the Market Watch part for TCGplayer.com. We're going to see how much these decks are costing, like in their entirety now. This is more for the newer players to see how much the entire deck is going to cost for these cards. Okay, so first up we have Doflamingo. We're going to look at this list here by Jose Excuse me, my throat just went crazy on me there, guys. Jose Luis Alva Quadros here. First place, $90 list, guys, for basically the best deck in the format. Now, a lot of these prices have dropped because people think that the leader might get banned or something might get banned or something. Maybe not the leader. You guys get what I'm saying. The leader might get nerfed is what people are expecting to happen over the bans and restrictions, but we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. $90 for what's considered the best deck in the format. Seems pretty good. We'll take that every time. Okay, next up is Black Yellow Luffy, another deck that many people consider the best in the entire, one of the best decks in the format. So we're going to look at this third place list here by Alexis Romero Soto. Third place, Black Yellow Luffy. Go for $161. And if these Sabas continue to drop in price, guys, this might be a deck under $150 before you know it. We love to see that. You love to see it. Okay. Next up, I'm not going to spend much time on these guys. We're just going to kind of check the overall price of these out. Lucci is still one of the premier top decks for Black, but Blackbeard's kind of taking his place in the meta. I have to say that. Blackbeard is starting to kind of take the place of Lucci, so we have to keep an eye on that. Because notice these placements here, guys. In OP09, I don't see any first place Lucci decks, but we'll look at this most recent one from March 1st. OP09, 11th place at a Treasure Cup in Mexico City. Humberto Vasquez Antonio. We'll see his list. Under $200, man. Well, hey, that's not too bad. So again, this is really important for the newer players to see. And by the way, notice over half the price of the deck is in Brook, unfortunately. But it's good to see for the new players like what it's going to cost to get into this game and actually be competitive. And if you're trying to be competitive on a budget, guys, I'm sorry, I just have to suggest this deck. The only thing that would change this decision is if something happens that makes this leader unplayable in the next bans and restrictions list. And I don't foresee that happening, but we'll have to see what happens. Again, we don't know. But yeah, this is a great entry point into the game, and even if they do mess up this leader, you can default over to Boa Hancock more than likely. Next up is Purple Luffy here. It's good to get cards for this. We're gonna look at this this version here by Hippie Knight. It got 6th place at a Treasure Cup. $200, and over half the price is in this Mr. 2 Boncray Bentham. I just wouldn't run these. I would just run the Basil Hawkins. I've mentioned this before. I'll try to remember to show this off later, but there's a much cheaper card to replace this with if you don't want to spend this much money on it, and it drops the deck down to about $100. The Uso Hachis are a little expensive now, like we saw. The Zonjis as well, and then the Monkey D. Luffy, the 9 cost. It's a secret rare, so it's going to be a little more expensive by default. But the overwhelming cost of this deck comes, like half of the deck comes from these 2 cards. It's not even a full play set of these 2 cards. You can easily play around this card if you need to. Okay? Not too bad. But getting some of those cards in there will prepare you, like getting, cards like the Gum Gum Giant here, this Zonji, this 1-cost Searcher. There's a lot of cards you can get in here that can prepare you for other better purple decks in the future that are Straw Hat Crew. Okay, so that was Purple Luffy. Next up is Red Shanks. Okay, let's do this 7th place list here by Yamil Rodriguez Cornell? I don't know. Not sure how to pronounce that. So this deck, half the price is in 1 card. Again, you guys see what I'm saying, right? If they would just help out these secret rare spots and some of these EB spots, drop these down, this entire game becomes like $150 and lower game, to be honest. Like every single deck would be like $150 and lower USD. And I think that would be so incredible because then we're competing with Pokemon in that department, and that's a good place to be at, guys. That's not a bad thing. These Gum Gum Fire Fist Pistol Red Hawks are up to $20 now for a full play set, $100 for a full play set of Silver's Rayleigh, and then the rest of the deck is pretty much dirt cheap. The Monkey D Dragons are a little expensive. And that's it. Okay, so that's Shanks. Next up, we got Blackbeard. So, guys, this deck as well. Hang on. So here's a 26th place deck by Peter. Check this out. This deck has no Laboons in it, so it's under $50. And this Finger Pistol is what pushes this deck into the super expensive range, right? And it's still under $43. Okay, or it's right at $43. Calling it it's $42.99. We'll just call it $43. It's actually around $45 to $50 after tax, right? After shipping and handling, I'm sure it'll probably be around $50. But hey, if you get rid of this Finger Pistol, which you can do, you can add in the an additional one of these, the Black Hole. What is this? Oh wow, they're running this card as well. This is a card from all the way back in OP05, a 3-cost card. Choose one, kept one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 1 or less. Return one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 1 or less to the owner's hand. Place up to one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 1 or less at the top or bottom of the owner's life cards face up. That's kind of interesting. Hang on. Place up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 1 or less at the top or bottom of their life cards face up. That's a really interesting effect. And then And then finally at the very end here, then if you have a Celestial Dragon type character, draw a card. And then the trigger, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less, or return it to the owner's hand. Really incredible utility card here. They're running 4 of this. I bid $500 million, but the Finger Pistol is the super expensive card here. If you take off this $32 thing here for some of the new cards that are coming out in OP10 rather, you could drop this down to easily into budget range. And I'm sure I'll probably revisit that at some point, making a Blackbeard budget list, even though this is already budget. $50, guys. $50 for this entire deck. This is an incredibly budget list. I want to make it even more budget. I might have to do a little series on that, making like 4 or 5 decks in the entire game that are $20 and under to play out, and that can compete against at least some of the top decks in the meta. I do love that kind of challenge. Okay, so there's Blackbeard. So next up, so Enel's the most expensive deck, guys. I don't even like showing it off. Here's a 6th place list from Ruben Benavides, and let's see what this one is. Yeah, $360. It's running 4 Ace, 4 Katakuri, 4 Nami, 4 Shirahoshi. It's just super expensive because of these, and Enel's not even doing incredible in the format. I mean, hey, these are pretty good. Three lists in the top, top 32. That's pretty good. But I'm just saying, generally speaking, I don't expect this deck to do super well going into the OP10 meta, where I think there's going to be more Blackbeards in the format. But we'll have to see what happens. I'd be careful if you're looking to invest into yellow, guys. I would be very careful in doing that, buying out a whole deck like this if that's your idea. Next up is Jory Bonnie. Bonnie will go to this 13th place list here from Jose Oscar Flores Cuevas. Up to $200. It's the Cavendish, guys. Half the deck price is the Cavendish. This deck for the longest time I felt like was like in the $100 to $150 range, and Cavendish was still the most expensive card. But man, yeah, the Rosinantes. Okay, interesting. These are up to $4. Hey guys, make sure you get your Rosinantes immediately if you don't already have them. Let me just tell you right now, let's just cut straight to it. Buy these immediately if you do not already have these. I don't know why these are so expensive. I wouldn't take my chances. I would treat it as strong as an SR. Under $4, get your playset pretty much immediately if you don't already have these, if you plan on playing green in the future. Cavendish we already talked about. Carrot's still super cheap. Eustace Kid we talked about. Shanks we talked about. And that's about it. So the Rosinante caught me off guard there. Jory Bonnie as well. We talked about this a little bit. Make sure to snag those. But that is... that I didn't see that Rosinante coming, I'm not going to lie. Okay, there's Bonnie. Red Purple Luffy, we're not going to look at too much. Boa Hancock, Nami. Nami's still an insanely cheap deck, guys. We'll check out this 15th place list. I like to show this off to the new players. $56 for a top-tier deck. A lot of people don't like playing against this, but it's still a very strong deck. That one was even running Usopp. You see that? Hang on, let's look at another one. Alex Sneezy here has a list for $60. And... yeah, no, this one's not running the, good. Okay, I wanted a more traditional list. Half the price of this deck is in the Love Mellows. This one's not running the Rush Usopps. I do kind of like that better. I think Rush Usopp's a cool card, but I think it's a little too gimmicky. Okay, but that's that. Next up, so that's Nami. Purple Yellow Robin. We'll look at this list from Guillermo Trejo. $150 for this list. This is a cool leader, but it's not exactly top tier. And the most expensive card in here is the Port Gosti Aces. And I actually don't think you need this card in the deck, guys. That's just me personally. I think you could probably build this deck for under $100 and it'd still be very, very strong. I'm not a huge fan of Ace in this list. I've showed off my list before. I'll try to remember to show it again later in either in the comment section, linking a video for it, or showing it off in the for the deck list for today's video. Smoker. This will probably be around the same price as Lucci. Javier Ortiz, here's a 13th place list. A little more expensive, actually, than Smoker right now. $212, half the price being Brook. $30 coming from Sabo, and then everything else is pretty affordable. Another $20 from Rebecca. So, okay. What else? Reiju. We always have to show off Reiju. And Reiju is getting some support in OP10, by the way. It's getting the new Searcher. But look at this list here, guys. $35 for a very strong list that rewards skilled play and really teaches you the fundamentals of the game. Great list. I recommend this to every new player because it does have a high skill ceiling, but it's also easy enough to play for a new player to get into it and kind of see how things work in the game. And then as they stick with it, they get better and better with it, and then the deck becomes more and more rewarding. And get this, guys, OP10 has a new Searcher Zonji for the deck, and then OP11 has some really nice toys to bring, to introduce into the equation. Some really cool new options. Okay, and then Bello Betty as well, 25th place from Mitch here. This list, $32, incredibly. Half the cost of this list is in Monkey D. Dragon. Really good budget list there. And, oh, did I say the Reiju list? That was from Antonio Estrada Garcia. I always like to at least say their names so people can hear who did this. Maybe they'll hear their friend's name or something like that. You never know. Okay, that's it, guys. That's it for the deck list. We're going to head over. We got one game to go over on the sim now before we wrap this up. But that's it for the that is it for the Market Watch portion of the video. I hope you guys did have fun with that. Look at this thing jumping around on me, guys. Okay, I hope you guys are seeing that One Piece is really not in a bad place. I have to say, considering how cheap the game is overall, I think it's in a very, very good place. You know, going into the future, especially if they keep all these cards in check, it's gonna have new players just flooding into it. Yeah, and that's what we want to happen. I want to see the game keep on growing. And I have to say this, guys, last night I went to one of the biggest, if not the biggest pre-release I've been to so far for One Piece. I think I went to a 75-player One Piece pre-release locally where I live back in OP07 or OP08. I can't remember which one it was, but OP10, last night we had 81 or 82 players, okay? Incredible. You love to see it. This game is growing like crazy, and if we can keep the prices down, we can keep the new players coming to us, you know, coming in, okay? So, now, let's do this, guys. We got one more thing to go over on this video. We got one quick game of green-blue Zonji versus purple-yellow Pudding, okay? So let's do this. The volume is off. Speed, we're going to put up to 2x, and here we go. So, guys, I have been working on a Zonji list. Green-blue Zonji list. This is a, notice this is a Straw Hat version. I've tried to get this deck to work. I got it to work for a few games, but that's about it. I have a Green-blue Zonji video coming up very soon. I don't want to give like an exact date, but it'll be sometime next week, more than likely. And, let me just say this, guys. Let me just say this. I had to go back to the 7 Warlords package. The Straw Hats were unfortunately not strong enough. Okay, so they're going to go. So the Pudding swings in. They ramp a Dawn. They play out Viola, turning their cards face down, and now they're they're already back to 6 Dawn for the turn. If they can ramp twice here, there's nothing we can do. Okay, nice. They couldn't ramp twice. That's actually really good for us. So now they won't go straight to 10 Dawn. Our board is getting bigger and bigger. We're going to tap down the Viola. We're going to swing 2 into 0. Beautiful. Get that for free. And now we can swing for a lot here. We can swing for 5. Watch this. Okay, swing for 5. We'll see what they do. They're going to take, we're going to tack in here. We're going to pull a card. We're not going to pull a card back. We're going to pass, stand up the chopper at the end of the turn. That chopper is so nice for this deck, guys. They can't really deal with it. They have to have removal to get rid of it. So they only have 8 Dawn left for the turn. They're probably going to make some type of play here. We're going to counter out of this and not go too low. They're probably going to play out Katakuri here. Yeah, 8 cost purple Katakuri. They got a nice blocker now that can attack as well. But we're already in a commanding position in this game. Let's see what we choose to do. We have 8 Dawn to work with. We have 4 attacks, basically 5 if we need it. We're going to really punish this guy right here. And we're swinging for 5s. We're swinging for minimal numbers here. I want every card from his hand. We swing for 5. He gives us 1K. We swing for 5. They give us a 2K. We're going to swing for 5. Not using the leader effect here. We're going to swing, and then we're going to play out the Luffy here. Interesting. We're going to play out Luffy here, returning a card back, and then we're going to attach a Dawn. And I don't know why I brought back the Tony Chopper. That's kind of interesting to me. I don't know why I didn't just bring back the Nami. Strange. I have no idea, guys. Don't ask. I have no idea. that made almost no sense. We're going to counter out of that. They're going to drop down the 10 cost Linlin. That's their best chance. But I just don't think that's going to help them here. I don't know what they're going to do to get out of this next turn. Because we have, again, we have a minimum of 3 attacks. We probably are going to have 4. And it's going to be so much. The damage is going to be ridiculous, right? That's kind of the idea here. But we do have to win right here. We do actually have to win right here. Let's see how we choose to do this. We're going to swing in for 7. That's going to be 2K and 1K out of hand if he has it. Okay. We're going to play out another Luffy. We're going to swing in here. We're going to return this card. And we're going to pull back the Nami this time. I think I should have done that last time, but whatever. You know, that was definitely a play mistake last time. So we're coming in for 8. And then we're going to come in for 8. And then we're going to come in for 7 or 6 and then 7. So watch this. We're coming in for 8 more. So now we're trashing this and attaching another Dawn to our leader, so it will be for 7. Okay, and now we're going to swing for 7. We're going to pull back a Luffy and stand up the Brook. So we're coming in for 7 and 7. Okay, that turn ended up being 7, 8, 8, 7, 7. Absolutely insano damage there. Captain Insano damage or something. You love to see it. Very fun. Okay, let's go ahead and look at this deck list. So this is what I was messing with today. This card was very good, and I do think it has a place in Zonji, but here's the problem. There's a better card for 1 less. Can you guys think of which card I'm thinking of? you guys see what I'm saying here? This card, I understand you lose life with this card, but for 1 Dawn less, now, yeah, you will get the Dawn technically with this effect here by attaching a Dawn to one of your characters, but being able to slam this down and take a life card, taking a life card is actually the best part of this sometimes, but resting down their 2 Dawn with this character, yeah, that's a game over situation against a lot of the decks that are trying to stick into the late game and go big. And it's an 8,000 power body. This card is absolutely massive. I just think this card's better than Luffy. Who knows, maybe we try to run both, but because they're both 8Ks, they don't really go with our leader effect. Remember, guys, for those who are not aware of the leader effect, we can only stand up a 7,000 power or lower character. So this is an 8,000 power character. We can't swing twice with it. You just can't do it. But this was the list I was messing with. We got the new Searcher Nami in here. We got the Zoro here. They can rest characters down and swing in if your leader Straw Hat. 2K counter Chopper, Brook, Luffy, Sugar. I really love this new Tony Chopper. I think it's just quality. I think it's just really, really good in Zoro because we can protect it. So, I mean, think about it, guys. We can attack him with a character, attack him with the Chopper, attack him with our leader, pull back one character to stand up the Chopper, swing in again with Chopper, and then in a turn he stands up. So it just protects itself. I think the card is so good. We're running this Nico Robin. Pause and read this. You can give your characters invulnerable. Didn't really come up in my playtesting. This Zoro was really good back in the day, but I just think it's kind of fallen off. The format just kind of punishes cards like this. It just says, no, you're not going to get the effect off ever. But you know, if you can, the effect is insane. Nefeltari Vivi is really good with the leader, just refilling your hand. Jozu, bouncing cards back like our Nami to bounce one of their 6 cost or lowers back. This Zonji didn't come up either. It's a 6 cost 7K that can bounce a 5,000, a character with an original power of 5,000 or less to the owner's hand. Didn't really come up much, but I think it has some potential. 2K counter Tony Chopper, 5 cost 6K blocker Nami, 5 cost 7K blocker Luffy. It can attack if you have 5 or less cards in hand. If you have 5 or more cards in your hand, this character cannot attack. So, excuse me, if you have 4 or less cards in hand, you can attack, and then the Rush Luffy. But I'm just going to show you guys real quick. I have a video coming out on Green Blue Zonji. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, no, never mind. It's at the top here. This is the deck that I have coming out for the leader, and I just think it's better. I'm going to be honest, guys. I think this version of the deck with the 7 Warlords is just strictly better, and I know people don't like to hear that. I get it. It's not a fun thing to talk about. I get it. But at the same time, this deck right here is actually very strong, and I cannot wait to show you the games I have lined up for this. I have like 7 or 8 games already done. I might stick with the 7 or 8 games I have for it, but I've already got like 7 or 8 games done with this version of the deck, and it pumps, guys. It is very strong. Being able to play out the Jinbeis plus the Weevils, being able to play out the Mihawk or Weevil, the Buccan or Weevil. It's all about landing these 2 Weevils on the board, whether you choose Jinbei, Draco Mihawk, or Buccan. It's all fine for what we're trying to do, and then we will aggressively counter out with the deck so we can get our full value from Nefeltari Vivi, and then we finish out our games with the Hody Jones. We set our top cards with Boa Hancock to search deep before the Hody Jones and things like that. This version actually feels really nice. I know it's kind of boring because the newest card it has is an EB02 card. Like no card from OP11 is even in here, but guys, it's feeling pretty good. I think it's going to be pretty decent. We'll check out this more at a later time, though. Okay, all right, I'm done. Hope you all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, subscribe. Guys, if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please don't hesitate to put those in the comment section below as well. Let me go ahead and do the outro here. If you are supporting my channel by liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, whatever you're doing to help out my channel, using my TCG player affiliate link, or supporting me on Patreon, PayPal, using through donations, supporting me with the playmat, becoming a member on YouTube, becoming a part of the community on Discord, whatever you're doing, guys, to help me out, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, I'm done. Hope you all enjoyed. Till next time, peace.